Modern Storage Unpacked. Let's go.
Welcome back to another episode of Modern Storage Unpacked, the podcast where we make space for what matters. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss an episode. They come out every Wednesday. I'm your host, Hannah.
And I'm your co-host, Kaylee.
And we are talking about the adult upgrade post-college dorm life.
Maybe this is your, junior year, sophomore year, and you're kind of wondering what you can do to elevate or the next step. Or maybe this is your final year of college and you're trying to figure out, what do I do with all of my dorm stuff?
There's definitely things that you don't want to take with you to your first apartment wherever you move post-grad. But we're definitely going to be going into what to keep, what to toss, what mistakes not to make. Yeah. I'm sure Kaylee can share some real life experiences herself.
Oh, yeah, most definitely.
Yeah, we're definitely going to be going into a lot of the adulting upgrades. Growing out of that queen or twin XL bed, the infamous bed.
Yeah.
I'm sure once you get up into your sophomore, junior, especially your senior year, I'm pretty positive that a lot of dorms have queen size beds.
It depends on obviously your university and the college you go to. And then there are different sections of dorm life. I know the college that I went to, they had lower tier dorms where you did share a bathroom with a floor versus
usually that's your freshman year, I would say. Yeah.
And then, maybe you just share one bathroom with one other person. Or I know at my college towards the end of my junior year, we stayed in what pretty much, while it was a dorm, felt like an apartment. We had our own bedrooms and bathrooms. We only shared a kitchen and a living room. Yeah. So depending on, but I will say throughout all of those, it's still a twin extra large.
Oh, really?
Bed. Yeah.
So I was in, it was a quad.
Okay.
So it's a four, it felt like an apartment. So you walk in, you got a really small living area, but then there's a kitchen, and then there's on each side of the dorm, there was 2 rooms, and they were queen size, but they're pretty small, but they're bigger than, they're about the size of a normal freshman year dorm. But yeah, I was going to say, I didn't know, but I know I've heard a lot that a lot of dorms just stay having the twin XL.
Twin extra large. I think that's...
Do they hate our backs? What is it?
And two, sometimes they're horrible beds. And
oh, you got to have a topper.
Yeah.
For sure. Are you keeping that topper? We're going to talk about it. Yeah. Let's go, before we kind of really dive into it, we're going to play a little quick rapid fire round of, I'm going to ask you questions. Are you going to be keeping, tossing, or storing?
Okay.
We're going to go straight into that twin XL bedding.
Honestly, you're probably going to want to toss it or sell it, definitely depending on how clean you are.
Oh, yeah.
But I have yet to find anywhere that you could purchase a twin extra large bed, let alone would want to. Definitely just going ahead and getting that queen full king size bedding. That twin extra large bedding is not going to do anything but just sit in a closet.
What about the mini fridge?
Honestly, putting it out in the garage, utilizing that, or even just a transitional period for yourself if you tend to overload your fridge, or you're moving into an apartment with roommates and you kind of want to keep your snacks and your drinks in your own room. Maybe your roommates are a little
you got your own special snack and drink that you do not want to share. Exactly. That's a really good idea. And if you're kind of moving solo and you have plenty of fridge space, you can sell it, make I'm sure there's a lot of people going into college that are ready to take one on that don't want to pay full price at the stores. So it's a good way to recoup some money. Or if you have, a younger sibling, donating it, to any friend in need.
Putting it in storage for a little bit. And, if you do have relatives, siblings, anything like that, you can kind of gift it to them. Yeah. Well, definitely in college, dorm life, having a mini fridge was top tier.
Yeah. That's when you're bougie. Yeah. That's, she's got it. All right, this one's going to be kind of a 3-in-1, but shower caddy, command strips, and plastic drawers.
You can really utilize a lot of that stuff, even the shower caddy, putting cleaning supplies.
I do that actually,
and using it that way.
Yeah, you carry it around the house to clean, so you don't have to carry the glass cleaner and pledge from room to room. It literally stays in there. I have my bath sponge, that I clean my bathtub with, and all the stuff. Just stays right
it
there.
makes it's really useful. And then two command hooks. I mean, you're gonna forever
Those
use
things are
command
awesome.
hooks.
Yeah.
And then you had mentioned plastic drawers.
Yeah.
So depending on how, like, again, that transitional period, you're not going to want to go out and purchase a bunch of storage or Chester drawers or things like that. So trying to utilize what you have already bought in your first apartment, I feel like is really good. And then two, even if you don't use those, putting them in your storage unit as an
100%.
organizational option.
You can use plastic. They're so universal. You can use them for so many things. If you're, if you haven't bought a dresser yet, you can put some clothes in it. When you get a dresser, you can put it in like a garage or something and put some tools that you're accumulating or cleaning supplies in there. What about like the microwave and like the small kitchen appliances like air fryer or stuff like that?
I mean, definitely keeping. If you're moving into your first apartment, I mean, again, all of those things are really expensive to like initially buy. So if you bought them during your like sophomore or junior year and they're still kicking, just bring them on along.
Yeah, I would say, I mean, if your apartment already or where you're moving to already has a microwave, I would probably donate the microwave because there's really no need for two. But your things like your air fryer and stuff like you would use, you're going to use those. Just because you have a large kitchen now doesn't mean you're all of a sudden going to be, Chef Boyardee in there whipping it up. Like air fryer is so easy, and you're kind of transitioning into the real world looking for jobs and stuff. And you might even start working. And it's like, it's a total change of scenery. And I mean, I personally love mine. It cooks food so fast. And it's like, I'd rather spend, 10 minutes doing that than, 45 minutes in an oven. So that's just me.
Exactly.
Do you remember when you first moved out of like your dorm, did you go straight into an apartment after that? Or did it feel like a whole like reality check, life just hit different, like adulting?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I do feel like, so for me personally, I moved to a different state.
Oh,
right after college, like literally finish out the school year, and like I think within 2 or 3 weeks moved to a different state.
Yeah.
It was huge. Like just the packing of it all.
Yeah.
Going across like state lines and then just the unpacking. There's just so much that happens. And I will say one thing that I did not realize whenever I was first moving into an apartment is that setting up your utilities, something that you do beforehand. Before you move in. It's not something that you do
Did you not do it?
No. So we made like the probably 6-7 hour drive to my new apartment. We got there and it was dark outside. No electricity. No running water.
Oh, no.
No Wi-Fi. Again, had no idea that was stuff that you're supposed to set up before you get there. Like, I mean, because again, the only apartment life that I ever had was dorm. So all that stuff was like set up.
You don't have to worry. Yeah, I guess I never.
So I had no idea. So I probably went about like, I would say about a little less than a week without like electricity, just trying to get, because again, I moved over like the weekend, so nothing was open. So I had to wait until Monday to get it all call and to get it hooked up.
Yeah, that is a straight up like start off adulting fail. I feel that. But
it was intense.
See, a lot of the stuff they don't teach you about in school. It's like either stuff that if your parents, they maybe just assume that
And that was the assumption. Yes. I think my dad, because my dad helped me. And so when we got there,
what did he think?
He was just like, what is wrong with you? Like, how did you not know? And I'm like, how does one know?
Yeah.
How was I supposed to know?
Yeah.
So he was a really big help. We did find like the water like turn on valve. So then that way we at least had like running water.
Did you get charged for that? Is that illegal to turn on?
I have no idea.
I think that,
I have no idea.
Yeah.
But
it is like a switch, but you're
we did do that just because, I mean, again, after traveling so many hours,
you need a shower.
Need to go to the bathroom. We just need to go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
Make a pit stop.
Bless your heart.
But yeah, the electricity took a little bit to get on. And then getting Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi takes a while, guys. And so I probably went almost like a month or 2 without Wi-Fi at all. It was, I had a DVD player at the time and a good DVD collection.
Good.
So that's what was taking, because again, don't have Wi-Fi, can't stream anything. wasn't paying for cable either. So
Yeah.
that was pretty much all that I
So
had.
you kind of like went straight into adulting, like,
and starting a
full
brand new
force,
job too.
100 miles an hour.
Yeah, on top of all of that. And so rule of thumb, if you're moving into your very first apartment, make sure all of your utilities are put in your name.
First things first.
Ready to go for your move-in date. So that way when you flip the switch, it actually comes on.
So that's like a major thing. That is one of the major things. There are a lot of small things that you just don't think about, like how you need, more than 2 towels. You're going to need silverware, utensils, forks, plates. I remember when I first moved into my first place, we had to go to Walmart probably 3-4 times to cook one meal because I went there and I forgot to get the baking sheet and I forgot to get the, like a can opener. I couldn't open all the can, so it's just like you don't realize all the things that go into it. If you are kind of prepping where you're not moving back in with your parents after college and you're moving on your own, I think it's good to even start prepping a couple months in advance.
I would agree.
You need to get a storage unit because you can't fit it all in your dorm. I recommend it, but just start like every time you go shopping, buy one thing. Buy kitchen towels, can opener. Hit up the dollar store. The dollar store's got some good finds
stuff
that you could save a lot of money
even
versus
like
going
baking pans, sheets, things like that. And again, even like the cups, like realizing that unless you want to do your dishes every single day, getting a few, different cups, different bowls, plates. Yeah. Just as you, again, are living in an apartment, you are living in your dorm, seeing what you're using every single day. And then 2, like you no longer have that meal plan. So you don't have a full entire
no one's sitting there waiting for you to come get food from them.
Yeah. So again, some of those like cooking utensils you just never think of. Even like the spices, trying to grow your spice cabinet and
oh my gosh, and condiments. Like that first grocery trip when you first move, and not even just into your first place, but any place going forward. Because usually whenever I move, I kind of do a clean out and realize half the stuff is expired. Yeah. But I mean the just ketchup, jelly, peanut butter, barbecue sauce, ranch, all the cheese, all the little things that you might need. I mean, it's probably the worst grocery bill I've had before.
Yeah, really. So again, like in that, those are like little things, but 2, if you start going ahead and getting some of those supplies now, and even like she said, utilizing a storage unit for some of those like simple items. Yeah.
Don't get a storage unit for actually seasonings and stuff like that because that can attract pests. But all the other stuff, yes.
All of the other appliances, even just plates and bowls, there's great sales throughout the year. So just going ahead and buying all those.
Yep. And storage can really help you guys during this transitional period too. It can provide kind of like a temporary housing or crash pad for your items, whenever in transitioning of moving. You can also, this is, something a little bit out of the box, but you can even try your first place living in a furnished rental. And then that way you can kind of see what all you really use. So that way, like whenever you're ready for your first own place and you're buying your own things, like, do I really need that bookshelf? Do I really need, this appliance? Do I really need all these things? So you can kind of see, what you actually use on a consistent basis.
Yeah. And 2, if you're planning to move again soon, so maybe you finished college and you're just doing a temporary internship and you're only going to be in this new city for a few months, utilizing a storage unit to put away those items that maybe you don't want to bring all the way with you. You know that you're going back, or you do decide to live in a furnished unit for those few months, and all of the items that you've accumulated, just put them in a storage unit until your internship is over. Or if you're trying out a new city, you're maybe not sure if you want to move there until you move all of your items. So utilizing a storage unit while you're kind of testing a new city or new job, things like that.
Yeah. Anyways, it's very useful for a lot of different reasons, but I think post grad life, especially, while you're kind of figuring things out, you're not really sure where you're going next and how long you're going to be in this city for this, because sometimes, you might end up getting a job offer there and end up having to move and you don't know. You're probably planning on coming back. And so, just
and honestly, that's what your like early 20s should be. It should be
a life full of unknowns.
Yeah. And so again, a storage unit is perfect for that. If, like she said, 40, 50, 60 bucks a month to just try to like keep all of your items until you finally settle down.
The price can range depending on the area you're in. That's probably an average here for like a 5x5, 5x10 here in Central Arkansas. But we've done a podcast about this.
Oh yeah,
prices can change.
Prices can change.
I'm sure in New York it's going to be a little bit more than that compared to Arkansas. But that's kind of what we're working at here. And if you're not sure, just go to your local storage facility, ask them around. A lot of places should have all of their prices listed online too, and you can always, call and ask with a professional. If you do end up getting one, obviously we, some pro tips, label everything clearly, either by like next apartment or future house. So like, if you're not using clear bins too, because that can help as well, but you kind of know like where that box is going to next.
So Hannah, going into kind of like our next little segment, we looked on Reddit for some grad glow up fails. And so I just kind of want to run through a few of them with you and kind of get your opinion on them. Okay. The first one is the twin extra large revenge. So this Reddit user says that they bought their twin extra large mattress into their first apartment because they were too broke for like an upgrade. Turns out that their new bed frame was for a full-size bed, and they just used throw pillows to fill in the gaps for about 6 months.
First off, how did you take your mattress from college? I don't know
if you're actually supposed to take that. They might find you.
I don't think. Yeah, maybe check your
or hold your diploma.
Yeah,
they can.
Why would you? First off, I wouldn't want to take that.
I wouldn't want to take
because I know they're
reused.
Bed. You're not the only person that's used that mattress. Yeah, I don't know. That's definitely a fail. I understand if like you're too broke. I'm sure you can go to the Humane Society and they'd be like, hey, I'll give you one for free. Yeah. You never know.
There are blow-up mattresses that are really nice.
Yes,
now, 100%. Yeah. I think that you'd be better off doing instead of taking the bed and just using throw pillows as a temporary thing. Mm-hmm. Okay, the next one is they didn't own real chairs yet. So they used, their dorms foldable gaming chairs as like their new kitchen table, except for the fact that it snapped like mid taco night. Could you imagine just like enjoying dinner and then
yeah. I won't lie. I've been there. My first apartment with my sister before it was probably 2-3 months before we actually got our couch.
Oh yeah.
And so we had like the foldable chairs, lawn chairs, and nothing snapped. But yeah, that's actually, no, this is kind of funny. We did have like, the rolling desk chair.
Yeah.
We had that why is this swapped? We had the rolling desk chair outside on our patio. Okay. And my sister was like playing tug with our dog once, and we have this little like concrete slab area, and then it goes straight into grass. And so he's tugging her, and she's pulling, she's like rolling away, and all of a sudden she knocks off the concrete slab into the grass and just completely tumbles over. And that's kind of when I remember thinking like, why do we have this chair out here and not that chair out here? So, like, I get it. I've been there,
Yeah, and do you feel like, again, utilizing whatever furniture that you have, again, those first few months.
You'll steal from your dorm, but,
the first few months, heck, the first, like, few years, whenever you're in your first apartment, just trying to gather
I had a beer pong table as my dining table for the first,
again,
7 months.
Whatever you can use, just make it work for you. Oh, the next one is they had brought their 3 tapestries from their dorm and hung it in their first apartment to cover up their weird walls. And then their roommate just said that it makes it look like a tent at a music festival. I will say tapestries are great. If you were in college during 2010s to 2016, I feel like everyone had a tapestry.
Everyone did. I feel like that was nowadays it's not so much a thing. It is more of just like if you go to Bonnaroo.
Yeah, they have the tapestries and
stuff.
But
I had like 2. So I'm wondering if there's like, first off, an age difference between the roommates.
Yeah, that's
and like
what
era are we in right now?
Yeah.
Like what was happening?
How old are we? Because again, first apartment, and especially I think about
you don't have a lot of like picture frames and artwork and stuff at this age. You got tapestries and you're like, that'll cover that wall and I don't have to worry about that,
I feel like that works. So I would just tell you
the LED lights. Did you have
That's
those?
What you need. That's what your tapestries are missing, are the LED lights. Yeah. I mean, I still have them in my house.
The
We
ones
have
that
a
kind of
few.
like go along the strip of, you know, I never did those.
I never did those. I feel like those were just now, like these young kids
back in the
now.
it was more like Christmas lights that were just different
Yep,
colors.
that's
If
what
that
I
makes any
had.
sense. Okay, okay.
I had the Christmas lights. I had purple ones hanging in my dorm because that
You know
was like
what-
my theme.
You know what trend I'm so glad that didn't come out until after I kind of grew up, so I didn't do it. But because I know I would have if I was younger at that age. The cloud light trend, you know, where people like it's like a project where they like get stuffing and then lights and then they do it all up there. Like I cannot imagine the whole setup with that because I would attempt to do it.
I would too. What we did have were the paper lamps. Those were really popular when I was in college. The ball, they look like a ball.
Oh,
The
yeah.
expandable ones.
I never
Those
used
were
those
really
as a
popular.
light. I think I just hung them up as a decoration.
By
Or
decoration?
like party decoration, right? They're like more like party decorations, like the paper. I have to clip like what I'm thinking of right here, what you're thinking of right here, and see if it matches.
Cut that. We're not on the same page. So the next one I saw was they had refused to throw away their college notebooks, you know, just in case. And they took up 3 boxes in a storage unit for 5 years. They actually finally opened it, and it was just full of doodles and just half finished like group projects.
I mean, if that's all it was, then like, yeah, that like what a shame. But like college textbooks are expensive. And especially if you're like furthering your education or want to further your education at some point, you may want to keep your textbooks, or if you don't, like recycle them to someone who may use them, resell them. But if it was really just like some group projects that maybe you never have any use for or doodles, yeah, why are you paying money to store it? You know?
And again, it really does depend. Like college textbooks are really expensive.
Yeah.
And then 2, depending on what your major is and what you finally went into the job field, you know, utilizing some of those textbooks to go back and maybe re-educate yourself on some terms and things like that. So depending on what it is, and that's why it's so important to go and regularly look in your storage unit, look in those boxes, see what you're paying monthly to store. So, you know, you kind of don't think about like the next steps whenever you're currently in college. You're trying to just focus on graduating and getting all of your classes done.
These are things that you are going to have to eventually be facing. You
is-
don't want to be going out of state and realizing you don't have electric and water for a week.
Don't do it, guys.
You know,
it's not worth it. It was painful.
You want to kind of know what to kind of prep for, what to take, what not to take. And if you are not sure and life is just very stressful, get you a storage unit. Adulting, it hits you 100 to nothing. It doesn't stop wait for you.
Yeah,
you know?
it's going to come at you no matter what. So doing as much as you can, especially while you are in college, to prepare for that. Hopefully, you know, you're watching this and you found some takeaways from it. And, you know, we'd love to know what, like, you know, you're doing to plan for, you know, real life, and maybe some tips that you wish you would have followed, you know, when you were younger.
Well, thank you guys all for listening. And don't forget to subscribe. We have podcasts going out every week. You don't want to miss an episode. Until next time, happy storing. Have fun adulting.
Yeah.
Don't forget to turn on those bills. And we'll see you next time on Modern Storage Unpacked.
That's a wrap for this episode of Modern Storage Unpacked. Thanks for listening. Be sure to subscribe. See you next time.